Hello everyone. After doing my October recap on Life by You, I've been thinking a lot about the upcoming early access version in March of 2024, and even though right now we are in the month of November, March is honestly just a couple of months away, especially considering that the release date for early access is March 4th, so it's not like they're getting a whole lot of time in March to actually get the game out. Since time is just flying by, I wanted to stop and take inventory of everything we have still yet to learn about the Life by You game's early access and beyond. Now, for those of you new to my channel, my name is Michael, and I want to welcome you to Sovereign Gaming and Life Sims, the YouTube channel where I build worlds, lots, and share my thoughts on video games in the life simulation gaming space. Now, as opposed to recapping what we already know about Life by You, because that would be a very long video, I want to take a moment to review what we don't know about Life by You so far, as to me, I still have a lot of questions about the game going forward. Plus, this will also give me a chance to reach out to you guys online to see if there is anything that I may have missed. So feel free to view this video as more of a community discussion as opposed to, my standard videos and all that. I'm really inviting that discussion here. And I'm just asking questions and searching for answers. Now, I'm not perfect. I don't feel like I have all of the information about Life by You. In fact, I don't think anybody except for the Life by You team does. So yeah, I'm open to seeing if there is anything that I've missed, and if there is, just feel free to drop a comment. With that said, the first thing that we need more information on is the career system that's in the game. Specifically, I'm talking about the creation of custom careers. The Paradox Life by You team has teased us in the past that they will be releasing a video that explains how to create custom careers and navigate a career tree for a human character. So I am fully expecting that a video and possibly a blog is in the works as we speak. However, throughout all of these Friday sneak previews and such, we have had glimpses into how jobs and careers work. Well, sort of. From what we know about Life by You, as has been explained by Rod Humble and the team in the past, is that workplaces and jobs are fully interactive, meaning that there's no rabbit holes. And we also know that there is a career creator in the game, and there are previous articles that have been published on the internet confirming that you can create your own custom career. We just need to see all of those aspects in action at this time. If I really want to drill down my curiosities and questions about jobs and careers, they can be summarized with the following questions. 1. Can community lots function without a career attached to it? For example, if you build a shop or an office, do you have to assign a specific business to operate out of that space? 2. Do you need employees to work at a business in order for the community lot to function like the business it is assigned? 3. If not, then do you need certain objects present in order for the community lot to function like a business? And if so, do you then need to assign certain actions to those items, like customizing an object? 4. How does a Life by You human obtain a promotion? Do they have to do certain tasks or complete certain quests? I'm very curious on this. 5. If you own a business, do you have to manage revenue and costs? And if so, is there a UI screen that allows you to assess your business's needs? 6. Is there an autonomy system in place for a place of business to run on its own? For example, if I switched households, I don't want my previous household's bakery to run out of business because I wasn't babysitting it. So I'm curious to see if there is an autonomy system that would be in place. 7. Do service jobs like the law enforcement and firefighters and also delivery service jobs spawn townies or NPCs? Are the emergency service jobs even present in this game? And will they be present in the early access release or beyond? If I had those questions answered, then that would give me a lot of clarity as to what to expect with the game overall and what to expect with early access versus base game, etc. And I get it. Some of what I asked may not be making it into the early access version, and that is totally fine, but I think that the Life by You team should start looking into getting ahead of some of these questions in order to deter any disappointment with the life simulation gaming fanbase that they have attracted. Specifically, I'm speaking on the Life by You team confirming whether service jobs like law enforcement or firefighters are even going to be in the early access version of the game. Let's move on to another point of curiosity that I personally feel gets blown out of proportion sometimes with assumptions. And that is the fact that apartments have not been confirmed by the Life by You team. I was seeing some murmurings in the comment section of the boutique hotel tour video and a little bit on Reddit as well, with some users assuming that because boutique hotels are in the game, that it means that apartments are in as well. To that I say, at the end of the day, the Life by You team has not explicitly confirmed this at all. In fact, I actually think that apartments and hotels are mutually exclusive, meaning that by having one of these gameplay features in the game, that it doesn't mean that the other is in as well. And I support this statement with the fact that the Sims franchise from The Sims 2 onwards has created expansion packs surrounding these two features alone, like with vacation and apartment expansion packs, and now The Sims 4 has done that as well. So I want to help dispel that correlation because I honestly don't think that having boutique hotels equates to confirming that apartments are in the game. However, we have certainly been teased with apartments, and I'm going to throw up a screenshot to show where they have teased us. As you can see in this screenshot, it looks like there is a mailbox designated to be used for apartment lots, just based on the language alone. But because the Life by You team hasn't explicitly told us that apartment lots will be available to us in the early access version, or even in the base game, I won't assume that they will be in the game. But the reason why I'm bringing up this screenshot now is that I wanted to show that the team has definitely, at the very least, thought about bringing multi-housing gameplay into the Life by You game. Whether they intend it to be introduced in the early access, base game, or in a future expansion pack remains to be seen. But I do think that it is very important to note that the Life by You team has at least thought about it enough to actually go ahead and design an object that seemingly looks like it would be used on apartment lots. Again, we are only being shown the early access version, so even this object could likely change in the future. And that also doesn't mean that they aren't just experimenting with different kind of gameplay features in their game to expand upon later either. I will go ahead and say that I do think that there is a strong case to be made for multi-household residential complexes to be included in the early access and base game. And that case would be to house the NPCs and Townies in the game. I've mentioned this many times in previous Life by You videos on my channel, but if certain jobs requires NPCs to work them, like a delivery driver for example, then it assumes that you have to house every NPC in Life by You. Again, there are tools that make this easy, but as opposed to shoving a bunch of Townies into a single home, apartments could make this feel a lot more organic by just shoving these Townies into an apartment complex assigned to their own units. It would feel a lot more realistic if that was the case. Like I did with the jobs and careers part of this discussion, I do have the following questions that have yet to be answered by the Life by You team when it comes to housing. 1. Are apartments in the game? 2. Can we build attached housing? 3. Are mixed-use lots, such as a commercial and residential mix, possible in Life by You? Those are some questions that I would like to have answered and just to have it cleared up. Even if it is an answer that's, like a non-answer answer is completely fine. Like an acknowledgement is really what I guess I'm looking for here. But even if they said like, we'll explore like that kind of a portion of gameplay in future, developments of the game and stuff, like that would be cool. But I think that like just specifically with that screenshot that I have brought up before, that it's kind of leading players to think that there is a strong possibility that apartments are actually going to be in the game. I'm not too sure. I'm on the side that's just not too sure at this point. Just because I feel like they need to explicitly tell us and yeah. So, and apartments wouldn't be something that they would keep a secret either, as apartment gameplay is certainly something that players look forward to, and it's something that players want. And we even see that in the latest Sims 4 or upcoming Sims 4 expansion pack, that there is an apartment expansion pack that they have designed just based around this feature alone. So yeah, I don't think that it should be a secret if I don't think that it should be a secret, but I could also see Life by You just kind of creating these lots just to experiment if it's even possible within the framework of their game. But yeah, that's all that I wanted to really say on apartments. I'm just really looking for just confirmation as to whether they're going to be in the early access base game or just considered at a later stage in the franchise. Okay, let's move on to another topic that is a little controversial depending on who you ask. So I think that for those of us who have played like simulation games for a while now, like for those of us that have started like with The Sims 1 and The Sims 2, I think that we all know that assuming that certain gameplay features will make it into the game without hard evidence typically leads to disappointment and engorged expectations. You know, when I say it out loud, this could apply to other facets of life, but but that's a different video for another channel. What I mean to say is that if the Life by You team has not explicitly shared that certain features will be in the game, then it is safe to assume that those features won't be making it into early access or into the base game. And yes, I am indeed talking about weather and seasons. Unlike apartments, unless I am wrong, there are no clues or indicators like the apartment mailbox object that weather or seasons will be making it into the game, or at least into the early access version. In the past, I have made videos about this, making a business case as to why I think Seasons and Weather will be introduced in the franchise as an expansion pack, and you can feel free to check out those videos if you would like. Now, I will stand by the fact that Seasons and Weather is just easy money for any life simulation game company that wants to guarantee strong sales for an expansion pack. And unless the Life by You team explicitly says that Seasons and Weather will be making it into the game, my money is that it won't. My money is on the expansion pack version of it. Now with that said, I would like the Life by You team to confirm whether or not Seasons and Weather will be in the early access game and/or in the base game, just so that they can get ahead and temper expectations this March. It took like a good week for players to really, quote unquote, recover from the disappointment with the early access being delayed from September to March. But I think that come this February, that players should have a clearer understanding as to when they'll get Seasons and Weather gameplay. Even if the news isn't what players want to hear, it does need to come from the Life by You team and not just from some YouTuber that is reminding everyone that there is no hard indicator or hard evidence that these features will be available at the early access or base game release. So I have no questions for weather and seasons like I did with the apartments and also with the careers, so let's move on. The next set of gameplay features we actually know a lot about, but I still have some questions. I think that we are coming to a point where it could go a long way to update the Life by You player base on the different life stages that will be playable upon the early access release. You see, before the early access version was delayed from September to March, we were told that the life stages confirmed to be playable were the teen to elder life stages, and they weren't sure if kids and younger would have enough gameplay features to actually be playable. Note that I said that we were told this before the 6-month delay. Now that there's a lot more time between now and the early access release in March 2024, I have to ask if the number of life stages being playable has changed. Since the early access delay was announced, we have actually seen younger life stages in action, such as the child being seen in one of Rod Humble's playthroughs, and that child was turning off a light in a grocery store, causing mischief. Granted, the Life by You team could still be experimenting with children life stages and with other gameplay features that we have just been very good at catching, and they could still be experimenting with children life stages and younger. But if they didn't want us to see that interaction in Rod Humble's video, then I honestly think that it would have been edited out. Again, because we haven't been explicitly told by the Life by You team that more life stages will be available at early access launch, I'm not going to assume that just because we saw a child in a playthrough video that it automatically means it will be available to play at a launch date. At the early access launch, I should say. And with that said, and I'm surprised that no one else has insistently brought this up, I think that it is safe to assume that pregnancy won't be making it into the early access version either, since the Life by You team hasn't updated us that younger life stages will be available for gameplay. I think that come this January or February, that it is super important for the Life by You team to start clearing up expectations when it comes to the early access game, because if family gameplay is taken out of the equation, then that's going to disappoint a lot of players. And it's better to get ahead and anticipate a volatile reaction than it is to release the game without educating the players and then having to react to a backlash. And I also think that giving the players the time to digest it and to temper their own expectations is also important as well, since the Life by You player base, and myself included, took a beat when the delay was actually announced. Heck, I even changed the videos I published on here because there's no way I could waffle on about Life by You for another 6 months, and I really wanted to play a life simulation game with you guys anyways. So there's all that. Like, it led to some changes for myself, and I bet you it led to other people making some changes as well. I think I was even reading stories about people taking time off and such just to play the game. Anyways, that's really all of the questions that I have right now. And I think that I summed up what we really don't know about Life by You at this time pretty concisely, or at least what I think is concise anyways. Everything that I've mentioned here in today's video, as far as I know, has not been confirmed by Life by You. I've either based it off of like little teasers that we've been given, like the screenshot for apartments, or other questions that I had about careers that we still haven't gotten answered. Like, none of the questions that I have posed or any of the topics that I've really come up with today has been confirmed by the Life by You team, and I think that we are starting to get closer to that early access launch date, where I think that some of those questions could start getting answered, or at least they'll really need to drill down and start getting those questions answered in January or February. And at this time, I want to hear what questions you still have about Life by You. Is there a huge gameplay aspect that I forgot to mention that we haven't been educated on? Was there evidence that I missed that concretely points to gameplay features such as seasons or babies or apartments? Or are you, like me, most curious about how jobs work and how they function from a customer, employee, and business owner perspective? Comment below with your thoughts. And until next time, I just want to thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, then feel free to like this video and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful day.